Those who are sending in your questions and comments, we appreciate. DG, I think this goes to you. Alele Daniel from Lira is asking, what plan do Civil Aviation Authority have for the construction of an airport in Lira City? Thanks for the show.
Thank you very much for that question. We have concluded actually titling of the land that we have been having for a long time in Lira City at Anai, at a place called Anai. And of course it has some challenges still because there were already people who had already entered. But once we conclude it and we title it very well, and we want to thank the Lira District Administration, the Land Board, the District Land Board, because they helped a lot. The current area MP and all those people really helped a lot to get us this land. And we are beginning to plan, alongside other national plans, first of all making a civil aviation master plan for the area as we start on our feasibility for building an airport in that very place. Because that's the reason why we secured that land.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone is also asking, I've not seen sign language interpreters at the airports. What plans do you have to cater for persons with hearing impairments who are travelers?
That is being done now that we have really expanded. Not only that, but there are even other languages that we want to introduce within our passenger handling stuff. About, for instance, Chinese language. We are getting many Chinese now, and people, some of them don't even speak English. So we are trying to organize and have all these facilities, these assistance really introduced in the airport. And we'll be doing that very, very, very soon.
Okay.
Yes.
DG, before I move to the PSTL, let's talk about how a Civil Aviation Authority is positioning itself in the international aviation landscape, of course, to derive meaningful benefits for the country.
Yes, as I have just told you, that our compliance scores alone are a statement in the world. That one I can tell you that once we score those, then they are flashed all over the member states of ICAO and the whole world. Airlines, air navigation service providers, handling companies and all that. That is number one. But we are also moving, we moved recently with our minister. You saw us in Montreal, Canada, where we were voted on the ICAO Council. ICAO Council is the highest decision-making executive body for the ICAO, for the whole world. It is responsible for developing standards and recommended practices. So we are not just watching on people making standards. We participate in making these standards. I think you must have seen because it was widely publicized. We are extremely active on the continent through our continental specialized agency called AFCAC, African Civil Aviation Commission. We've been vice chairs of that AFCAC. Right now, I am the chair of the safety group of the whole continent, right now. Going back to the global aviation system, the DG, myself, I'm on the EXCO of Global Council. Council is Civil Aviation Air Navigation Service Organization. The global one. So, we are very visible, and our members are almost on all committees of these institutions. And what do we gain from there? Our issues are also included while making new guidelines, new standards, and any new recommended practices that we have here. We are extremely active, and our visibility springs from our performance in those audit areas, because that's how you get to know. Even our operators like Uganda Airlines are benefiting from that, because wherever we agree to sign a bilateral air service agreement, people don't oppose it because they know our safety record. They know that's why it, in many countries actually have been denied entry into places like UK. I don't know whether you know that. Others who had been there have actually been stopped. So it is important that those parameters are seen as confidence building in our aviation system. And I want to rally Ugandan behind this new initiative for them to be able to be confident in their own aviation system, their own airline like Uganda Airlines, and use it. Because really we depend on passengers of these airlines, especially our own national airline.
Okay, PS, projects are being done. How are communities really involved in planning and maintaining these infrastructure projects?
Well, when we are starting a new project, we have to first assess its viability and its benefit to the community. So we do a pre-feasibility study, we do a feasibility study, we do SCR, and then we also assess the internal rate of return for the project, so that we know people are consulted.
The environmental impact.
And we also assess the environment effect, so that we don't do a project which will increase pollution, contribute to climate change, adverse effects of climate change. And when we are doing the implementation part of it, we want to ensure that the local communities benefit. First of all, if it is for labor, we give preference to the children around, the people around of the community. Then if it is demand for services, food, drinks, this is where mainly ladies benefit, because they are good at such activities of selling to the workers. And then the final outcome of the project, it must benefit the people. When we started the airport in Kavale, that construction, most of the labor was drawn within there, within Kavale. We did not bring people from afar. And when it comes to local materials, we use those local materials which are very locally available and are suitable for the project. So people's income improve. And of course, we have areas of safety. When we are doing such projects, we make sure that the safety measures are fully put in place so that people don't get involved in accidents. But of course, there's also the negative element with some communities, and not to say all communities, where you find some people want to fail a project, some people want to over-demand issues of compensation. You compensate somebody today, next year he comes, you gave me little money. I want some more money. Then, of course, we have a very bad device which asks the community to help us fight. The theft of road furniture, infrastructure furniture. That one, the road signs which we put. Somebody picks a road sign, just to go and make a candle, turn over. But it doesn't know what damage it to do to safety on that road. That signpost has something to show, to avoid the people getting involved in accidents, to avoid endangering people's lives. So those are some of the negative things which we have in the community.
All right, Rahim, let's talk about affordability. You did mention about it briefly, but since we are talking about communities, affordability of the use of the airline. We do have water, road transport, railway. These are modes of transport that really Ugandans really use. Talking about Uganda Airlines, how affordable is it? Are you targeting a certain class of people who are supposed to use this airline really? Because we are looking at something that can be used by most of the Ugandans.
When you look at our typical traveler, when we opening
Let's
a
borrow
route,
that word of omuntu wawansi.
yes,
It's also important.
yes. When we are trying to profile or open a route, we profile the kind of traveler that will be traveling or going to that destination. And when we look at, for example, there are those trade routes, Dubai, now Mumbai. So when you look at affordability, what we do is to stimulate demand. And when you stimulate demand by deploying more seats on that route, or let's say flooding seats, or positioning. For example, you can increase frequency. You can position a bigger aircraft on that route to be able to stimulate that kind of demand, so that when people go in to book, they are seeing many seats available to them to book, or many days. For example, I can travel, for example, London now, we have 4 times weekly. Johannesburg, we have daily travel. Dar es Salaam, the same thing. Nairobi, we have 3 times in a day. So you have more seats available to you. And that means that when we stimulate demand, we are also distributing our fixed costs. In terms, we are making travel affordable. The fares are going down.
Let's talk about inland travels. I don't know
Yes.
whether this should be to you or the DG, but you will guide anyway. We have people who might really want to move from here to Gulu, for example.
Yes.
What is the process like? How much could it cost? That is the point. You get it? So the inland travels, going outside countries might be a little tricky. But now the inland travels, we have Ugandans who are in position actually to cater for themselves in one way or the other. So I want to move from here to Nebi, but I don't want to go by road. I want to use the air. How much can it cost? How best can Ugandans really run for this as well? Those who are in position to do that.
We'll have to stimulate that demand. And for now, the demand is there because people are tired of driving for long hours. And with the feasibility study, it will be able to provide, for example, the demand, and also give us a base of what to charge on which route. But right now in the market, I saw travel going up to $320, two-way or return ticket. There was one that was going for $250 in the market for other domestic carriers.